Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today we're going to take a look at a puzzle that was submitted by YouTube subscriber Foerick. Now, Foerick is a friend of mine that plays in my Dragon Heist campaign, and in the Discord channel we've had a lot of conversations about a bunch of different puzzles that he's come up with. So I'm really excited to present this one. I think it could be a lot of fun, and we're going to take a look at it today. So in this puzzle, our adventuring party has knocked over an entire collection of miniature statues. Now, by doing this, they have triggered a trap in the room, and they only have a few minutes to put everything back in place to stop the trap and open a way out of here. Today, we're going to take a look at the Deity Bobblehead collection. Now, just a reminder, I am writing a D&D puzzle book, and I hope to be done writing by August. I got pushed back a little bit because the last 3 months have been a little bit rough. But that's okay, though. I think we're back on track, and hopefully maybe a Kickstarter later this year. Now, in the meantime, I'll probably be spotlighting a few more puzzles that are either user-submitted or from books. So stay tuned for those, and let's take a look at this puzzle. Okay, so the Deity Bobblehead collection. Now this is kind of the way that I'm seeing this play out. Of course, we could be in a dungeon, a temple, a castle, a museum, any setting that you choose as the DM. Here's our adventuring party right here. And I am going to, as a DM, make it very obvious that in this area, they're going to find a secret door. Now, I may allow them to roll for perception, or may just say that your passive perception helps you detect this secret door here. Now, if one of the characters comes up and tries to give it a push and tries to open it, they're going to see that it's a very heavy stone door. And I'm going to actually have them do a strength check to try to open it. Now, what I plan on doing is one of two things. Either when they open this door, it's going to set off a trap that's going to do a thunder wave, that's going to send some shock waves in this general area, or I'm going to have this door slam open so hard that it's going to rattle the contents on the inside. And the reason that I am doing that is because when they enter this room here, there is going to be 9 bobbleheads or 9 miniature stone figures of deities. And 8 of those 9 statues are going to hit the ground before the characters could see what order they were in. So if I end up placing these miniatures or these statues, miniature statues over here, or I've even thought about putting them on the back of the door. So kind of like a display case where there's 9 slots that these miniatures go into. Something is going to happen here enough to rattle the walls, or if it's on the back of the door, they're going to slam this door open so hard that these miniatures are just going to fall onto the ground. So these characters are going to come in here through the secret door, and they're going to see all of these miniatures laid out on the ground. Now, once all 4 of them have entered this room, this secret door is going to slam shut, and it's going to actually magically seal where they're not able to reopen this. We're going to say that it was sealed by maybe a 375th level wizard that's only 39 years old and is really doing well for himself in life. But now that these are on the ground, the party's more than welcome to investigate where they fell, because 8 of them fell. There's still going to be 1 that is solidly in place, and we'll get to that in a minute. But they are more than welcome to search around the rest of the room. And I just threw some extra stuff in here. Perhaps, a couple bookshelves, maybe a few of these barrels are over in here. There's an adjoining room that maybe has a treasure chest. Maybe this is an item that they're looking for, hence the treasure chest with the gold in it, or things of that nature. Now, the whole purpose of this puzzle is this area belongs to either a wizard or some kind of a spirit, or maybe a minotaur, or somebody or something that really prided themselves on this collection. Think of maybe like a Funko Pop collection or a sports bobblehead collection. But actually what is really going on is after these fall out of place, then this entire room, and this hallway all start to fill with a poisonous gas. And of course, as soon as that starts happening, I'll let the players know, say, hey, you kind of smell a funky odor, and then we'll start with our constitution rolls. And perhaps before too much time is expired, we'll start with some rolls versus poison. Now, the only way to turn the gas off and reopen this secret door is to put all of our Funko Pop or our miniature deity statues back in place. And it's probably at this time that I would introduce a timer for the party. So I'll throw down my 10-minute timer and give the party this puzzle here. So let's slide on over and take a look. So to kind of help with our imaginations a little bit, this is kind of what I'm thinking as far as what the deity bobbleheads would look like. So we've got Dick Buckus here, and this could actually be one of the deities. They got the little head that bobbles up there, or whatever feature they have as a deity, and then on the bottom here it has their name written down. So when the characters are putting the bobbleheads back into the wall, whatever else, and making their own areas, they can clearly see the name of the deity there but below, and they set it down and it bobbles its head a little bit. So let's get back to the puzzle. Now what the character is going to see on the back of the door or on the wall where all of the miniature statues fell off, and again that's up to you as the dungeon master or the game master, is they're going to see this miniature display case, and it's going to have 9 holes where a miniature statue can rest in. And if you see the background from my game room with my D&D miniatures behind me, something similar to that, but only 9 spaces. Now all 9 of these spaces are empty with the exception of this middle one, and I'll get to that in a minute. And there's also some engravings. We have letters. In the corners we have the letter L. Across the top and bottom we have the letter S as in Sierra, O as in Oscar, E as in Echo. And along the sides we have N as in November, R as in Romeo, M as in Mike, and in the corners we have A as in Alpha. Now again, as I've already told you, the statues kind of look like this, where we've got Dick Buckus here, so we've got the Funko Pop or the bobblehead of our deity. So let's say this is the deity Saluna, and this will be a image of her, and it will be spelled out Saluna on the bottom. So let's look at all of the bobblehead statues that we have in the room. Okay, so gas is filling the room. The characters are needing to scramble to put all of these statues back in place to try to open the secret doors so they can get out. And there is one statue that is firmly in place, and that is a deity statue of Lord Ao. So Lord Ao, Lordao, is in the middle here. And this statue is in place and it's not moving. However, we have 8 other statues that we need to fill in around Lord Ao. And we have all of these letters across the top, the bottom, and in the corners to help us. So with all the information here and the bobblehead statues of the deities Bane, Denier, Gond, Helm, Mask, Saluna, Shar, and Torm, can you solve the puzzle? I'll give you a few minutes if you'd like to figure it out. Did you get it? Great. Did a lot better than I probably did. Okay, so the solution to the puzzle, again, at the base of each of these statues is the deity's name. So if this over here is Denier, this is a statue, a very small statue of Denier, and at the base it has the name Denier written out, D-E-N-E-I-R. So the key is in the letters. Which deities share letters with other ones? So let's take L, S, and N. So these 3 letters here is a good place to start. And if we look at the deity Saluna, she has an S, an L, and an N. So let's start with Saluna. And it's probably best to go with the corners. So now we're going to look for an M, an A, and an S. And able to fill this is the deity Mask. In this corner over here we have M, L, and E. This one's pretty simple. It's just missing the H for the deity Helm. And our final corner piece, E, A, and N. And once again, just missing one letter here. That will be the deity Bane. So now we have already used 4 of our deity statues. So with that, where do we think Gond will go? Gond has a letter N and he has a letter O, so Gond will go in this square here. This square over here we have an R and an S, and out of the ones remaining, Denier does not have an R and an S, neither does Torm, but Shar does. We have our R and we have our S. So this one is the deity Shar. And that is going to leave just 2 statues, Torm and Denier. Both of them, Torm and Denier, both have an R, but Torm has an O and Denier does not. Torm also has an M. So an M and an O, we'll put Torm here. Denier has an R at the end and an E, which is the second letter. So we have Denier and we have Torm. So again, with Lord Ao right in the middle, all that our players need to do is move these other statues into the correct spaces. And now that they are in the correct position, the poison gas will no longer be filling the chamber. It will start to ventilate, and then our secret door will open back up, allowing our adventuring party to exit this room with plenty of time still left on the hourglass. So that was the Deity Bobblehead collection. Now, when Foerick first presented this puzzle to me on Discord, I had a very hard time solving it. But like I told him, I'm pretty good at making puzzles, but I'm terrible at solving them. So the hole above the box where the statues goes, all of the letters, I kind of added that in myself. It wasn't in the original idea. So if you'd like to make this puzzle a little bit harder for your players, then just leave the letters out. Don't put the letters above the boxes on the wall. Or maybe you can put that somewhere else. So maybe somewhere else in the dungeon they find like a book or something that has the letters in it, and then they have to put 2 and 2 together. But I like to make my puzzles just a little bit easier and stuff, so that's why the letters are there. But again, feel free to create your own difficulty with that. So that's all I have for you today, and what did you think of the puzzle? Is this something that you could use in your game? If so, what changes would you make? Also, what clues would you give your players if they start to stumble and can't figure it out in time? Make sure you leave a comment below. It helps the channel out a lot. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and on to the next.